This is a quick video on how to use the Edexcel website. First of all, to find the actual website itself, just type in Edexcel and it should come up. On the Edexcel homepage, you can navigate to the actual course by clicking on qualifications. Then you're looking for GCE, which is General Certificate of Education, and this particular A-level began in 2008, so click there. That'll bring down a list of different options, a list of different subjects. Scroll down to Religious Studies, because although it is Philosophy and Ethics, it is Religious Studies A-level as we focus on issues relating to religion. Now that's into the actual page, which has got all the links to different resources and documents, which you will find very useful for revision. The only ones that you really need to focus on are the specification, examiner's reports, mark scheme and question papers. Everything else is really more useful for teachers. Specification, first of all, this has the first document, which is the specification itself, really just gives an overview of what the course is about. So you have the different units explained. It doesn't really go into any information, or it doesn't go into any of the theories or anything like that. It just gives you an overview of what you'll be studying: foundations, investigations, developments, and implications. And it also tells you how the course is assessed. So really this is just a document that you should familiarise yourself with at the beginning of your studies. These things will probably be told to you by your teacher anyway. You're likely to be aware of them fairly soon in the course, but this document's here for you if you wish to refer back to it. Next thing here is the Anthology. Anthology is a collection of articles, and this is only going to be useful for you when it comes to your implications, Unit 4 of your A2. So that's going to be the last half of your A2 year. We usually focus on ethics, so if you go to page 134, you can find 3 articles back to back by 3 different authors on different issues, and I'd recommend starting reading these at the beginning of A2, so by the time you start to examine these more closely in class, you kind of have a feel for these articles already. During AS level, you don't need to worry about this document. Next up is the examiner's reports. These are really key to giving you an insight into what other students nationally have been doing well, what they have, what mistakes they've been making. If we just have a look at the most recent ones, so June 2003, if you click on that, it brings up examiner's reports for foundations, investigations, although you need to find the particular topic that you did, developments for A2, and also the implications for A2 as well. Again, implications, find the particular topic that you did. So if we have a look, let's look at developments. This document's great because first of all it just gives you kind of an introduction, some general comments. So as we can see here, it says, as ever, the highest credit invariably is given to those candidates who are prepared to respond to the questions set, rather than writing a generic essay. This is recurring advice. A lot of examiner reports actually say this, so this is something that you really do need to take on board. This really gives you an insight into how to do a good essay, what exactly the examiner is looking for. So I'd recommend having a read to some of these, taking some notes on what you should be doing in your essays. Go back, we've got mark scheme and question papers left. If we go to question papers first, click on this allows you to bring up all past exam papers going back to 2009. This is really handy, especially for just getting a feel for what kind of questions might come up. So it's important that when you're revising a topic that you bear in mind you need to be flexible and you need to be able to fit the content to whatever question it is. So have a look back the years, what kind of questions you get in each topic. So if you're researching teleological argument, in what different ways is the question usually framed? You can usually, after looking at a few different years, see that there is a pattern, and that's going to help you prepare to account for any of the variations that usually come up. Next up is the mark scheme. Now these can be used in conjunction with the question papers. If you do a question paper by yourself and you want to actually mark it, if you click on the mark scheme, you can find mark schemes for particular years, for particular units, like this one's foundations, and you can see actually how you could mark that particular question. So as you can see, it gives you a mark scheme here. This is a general one. If we scroll down, we should get a more specific one, which gives you an indication of what candidates might have included. So that gives you an idea. So it says here, typically candidates may make effective use of key scholars, including the likes of Aquinas, Paley, and Swinburne. So this is quite useful for you to then mark your own work, and you can see how well you're doing. That's everything you really need to know about. The most important things I would say is having a look at the question papers, examiner reports. Specification, you don't need to worry about too much. Have a look at the start your studies, and the anthology will come in later in A2. And mark schemes you can use to mark things yourself.